All right, we'd like to thank you for coming down to Wild West Showdown 5. And our fourth bout of the day on track 1 is going to be Port Scandalous Roller Derby versus the FoCo Girls Gone Derby. Right now.
The FoCo Micro Bruisers are 007 Vitamin D, number 8 Catastrophic Fatality, 13 Chocolate Milkshake, 45 Mary Poppin' Caps, 50 The Original Skankster, 98 pounds of steel, 125 Rocks Your Socks Off, 187 Double Destruction, 511 Sugar Smacks, 8008 Princess of Wales, 4th Miss Erie Business, 9JA Pootie Tang, IM6E Susie Muffin Crusher, and Not 8 You Be Nice.
And skating for the Port Scandalous Roller Derby Intensity Rollers, we've got number 106 Jessica, number 13 Brawley Anna, 18 Wicked Slam, 1920 Scorned Rose, 222 Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber, 316 Stone Cold Stunner, number 317 Mary Magdalene Anya, number 4 Misdirection, 45 Amber Pistol, 532 Dominatrix, number 805 Bustitude, and number 816 Lethal Enforcer. Stepping up to the jammer line for the first jam of this bout, we've got number 317 Mary Magdalene Anya for the Port Scandalous Roller Derby, and I believe that's 98 pounds of steel for FoCo Derby Girls Gone FoCo Derby Gone Wild.
It's a tongue twister, and we're in trouble.
Are these micro bruisers?
They are the Micro Bruisers on the flat track right now in blue. FoCo is in blue, Port Scandalous is in black.
Port Scandalous trying to find a way through that defense of FoCo, looking for that lead jabber status. Looks like 98 pounds of steel, looking for a line on the outside, getting knocked out by Jessica, but number 317, Mary Magdalene Anya, is going to pick up that lead jammer status on the inside track.
Still trying to bust her way through, 98 pounds of steel. Trying to fall down like 98 pounds of steel on the weight of this pack. Nothing's going to happen there, though. Magdalene Anya instead is going to skate away with 5 big points. Still stymied in that pack, 98 pounds of steel against Wicked Slam. We've seen her before this tournament, not to be trifled with as a blocker.
That's an intense start to this bout. Already putting 5 points up on the board for PSRD.
Sorry, I lost Mary Magdalene Anya for a second there, like a ninja. She teleported, I think, to the front of the pack, and that's 5 more points on the board for the girls in black.
Blazing through for another natural grand slam. 98 pounds of steel getting held back by that PSRD defense. Wicked Slam just giving it to her on turn 2. In the meantime, Mary Magdalene Anya going up against number 125, Roxy Your Socks Off, as last line of defense for FoCo Derby Gone Wild. Forsey picks up 5 points for PSRD.
98 pounds of steel, still having problems here at the back of this pack. Had to get recycled all the way to the back, and now attempting it all over again. 1 blocker to beat, now 3 blockers to beat. Port Scandalous doing an excellent job of getting those blockers right up in their face and doing everything they got to do on defense right now.
Mary Magdalene Anya just racking them and stacking them out here on this first jam of the evening. I wonder if this is going to be the pace for the entire bout. Coming out strong, Port Scandalous Roller Derby putting 5 more points on the board.
98 pounds of steel now on her scoring pass. It looks like Port Scandalous is going to have a 5th blocker on the track here. Mary Magdalene Anya doing a little bit of positional right at the back there. Says, yeah, 25 is good enough for me. Let's go back to defense.
All right, stepping up to the line, we've got 4th, Misery Business. Is that Misery Business or Miss Erie? Misery Business. She's going to be skating against number 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber for Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
The pack doing a little bit of last-minute shuffling there as they wait both these jammers just smash through. Misery, though, comes up with a nod on that inside line, and that's your lead jammer skating away from this pack.
Looks like Misery's out for vengeance right now. She's going to try and make up a little bit of that deficit. Trying to put some points on the board, make up for the 25 that were made by Mary Magdalene Anya in the first jam. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber putting the wheels to the floor right now, though, trying to catch up.
Great block to the outside there by Stone Cold Stunner. Forces Misery to go ahead and call it off. Looks like it's going to cost her a trip to the penalty box, though. She's been bad.
Sometimes you're just so good, you're bad. Stepping up to that line one more time, we got number 317, Mary Magdalene Anya for Port Scandalous Roller Derby, Intense City Rollers. Got to skate against number 8, Catastrophic Fatality for FoCo Derby Gone Wild.
James are out. We actually had the blockers line up on the pivot line this time. That's weird. Our lead jammer, although stymied a bit right after she got the nod, is number 8 from FoCo, Catastrophic Fatality, and now she skates away free and clear on the flat track.
FoCo's defense doing a great job holding Mary Magdalene Anya back. She's coming up against that 3-wall down on turn 1 and turn 2. They're not letting her by. They don't want her putting any more points on the board.
Catastrophic Fatality right in, edging by Wicked Slam there to get some big points. That's 5 points. 5 points on the board. That's what FoCo wanted to see here early on in this bout.
I call that the upside down nutter. Yeah. All right, Mary Magdalene Anya finally breaking away from her initial pass. Coming up to the pack, she's going to have to fight through that defense of FoCo before they call off the jam, putting 3 more points on the board.
What a great effort, though, right at the end. Port Scandalous with 3 points answering back. All the way to the 4th whistle, folks. All the way. Pootie Tang on the jam line this time for the girls in blue.
Number Ninja. I like that name, Ninja. Skating against 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber. Both ladies looking for a line to get through this defense. It's like Brawliana and 45 Amaretta Pistols giving Ninja Pootie Tang a hard time. She's trying to get through the pack, but she's going to make it, picking up lead jammer status.
Boy, and that was a hard-fought line there. Scuttlebutt now skating through into the open and looking to score some of those points back for her team as well.
Scuttlebutt's low center of gravity and quick lateral movements really help her weave her way through that pack, finding a straight line to get in and out of just about any damage.
It looks like, yeah, we had a cut in the track call, trying to call it off, couldn't quite get it done. Pootie Tang is going to sit down in the box, and we will have advantage Port Scandalous here as Scuttlebutt skates around untouched for a big grand slam. 5 points for the girls in black.
Pack advantage definitely going to Port Scandalous Roller Derby, as FoCo Derby Gone Wild has got 3 skaters in the penalty box right now.
Right now, Rocks Your Socks Off is trying to assemble her pack into whatever she can make happen. Big shoulder-to-shoulder blocking there between her and Scuttlebutt right now. Scuttlebutt has to recycle right behind her, just couldn't quite keep it in bounds. And fighting now on the outside, she finds her line, and that's it. 5 points. A hard-fought 5 points.
All right, defense looks like it's evened up quite a bit out there. Amaretta Pistol going to come in and give her a little hand, pushing that FoCo defense to the outside, giving Scuttlebutt a line to break through to pick up 5 more points for Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
And now a full solid blue line there awaiting Scuttlebutt as she does make contact with the pack, trying to get by a chocolate milkshake there, it looks like, along with Rocks Your Socks Off. They're dancing up there, and they do finally let her go. Another 5-point pass for Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber. This is a 30-point jam right now for the girls in black.
30 points on the board for Intense City Rollers.
Good news for FoCo is that they've got their jammer back on the flat track.
All right, we got 317, Mary Magdalene Anya stepping up to the line for Port Scandalous Roller Derby. And 4th, Misery Business stepping onto the line for FoCo Derby Gone Wild.
Mary Magdalene Anya breaking through that pack before turn 1 is even over. That's your lead jammer right now, skating away. Misery Business, meanwhile, having a bit of a tougher time with it. Recycled behind Wicked Slam and now back up at it all over again, as Mary Magdalene Anya is just trying to get by that last line of defense. Break through FoCo's line here. Princess of Wales in stereo. We're available. She gets by here. 5 points for Port Scandalous.
That's 5 more points. Port Scandalous on the board is 4th. Misery Business breaks through for her initial pass. I really would not want to be in 4th shoes. Misery Business going up against that strong defense. Looks like Mary Magdalene Anya is going to get a back block penalty, giving Misery Business an opportunity to pick up some more points in a power jam situation.
And that's good for 5 points. This is what FoCo wanted to see here early on. We're going to see what Misery can make with it. There is a big, strong black wall up there at front. And we're going to see if she can get by. Instead, she's going to be recycled behind the pack. She's going to try it all over again on turn 1 there. As she tries to skate through. What a shoulder check there. Right at the back of that pack.
As I was saying, that Port Scandalous defense. We got Wicked Slam, Amberetta Pistols, Jessica, and number 316, Stone Cold Stunner. They've been putting shoulders and hips to the skaters all weekend, holding them back, letting their jammer through, putting the points on the board. I don't envy Misery Business right now.
FoCo coming in with a pretty good play there on defense. Came in there and smashed up that pack pretty effectively. Port Scandalous is now looking to see what they can do as they are slightly outnumbered now. This time, FoCo is going to concentrate on the opposing jammer instead, and that's going to end that jam. Not before 4 points on the board for the girls in blue, but 3 for Mary Magdalene Anya, sprung from the penalty box right at the end there.
That's a 19-point jam for FoCo Micro Bruisers. They're crawling back, trying to decrease that deficit a little bit. Only a 34-point deficit right now, which is nothing. We're only 10 minutes into this bout. Right now we got number 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber, going to step up to the line against, for the first time this evening, Double D Destruction for FoCo Micro Bruisers.
Double Destruction had a pretty good line on it. Got a little bit of a jump off that whistle. And now she's looking for daylight there. Misdirection holding on to that inside line. Both these jammers having a bit of a time with it. Scuttlebutt just knocking over the entire pack, though, trying to make her way through, and does have to get by rocks or socks up. No, I'm sorry, I missed that. That was a forearm for Scuttlebutt, and that's going to send her to the sin bin, so it's going to set us up another power jam, and Double Destruction breaks on through, and this is what the doctor ordered here early on. Looking at this 30-odd point deficit, we're going to see what they can make of it.
This is their opportunity to close that up. No opposing jammer on the track gives her the chance to put as many points on the board as she can for the next minute, solid minute. But it looks like that defense, PSRD, is doing a great job of trying to hold her back. We got Amberetta Pistols, Stone Cold Stunner, pushing her around before she breaks through to pick up 5 more points.
Pack now resetting. Port Scandalous looking like sharks in a fish tank here, just waiting for that jammer so that they can pounce. Pounce like a shark. How's the metaphors working for you?
Sharks do pounce. You ever seen them pounce on a seal? It's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Jump out of a tree, tear your face off. But right now, Double D's looking for some form of semblance. Was the pack destroyed? I think it was. Either way, it's good enough for 5 points on the board for green.
That makes a total of 10-point jam. FoCo Micro Bruisers.
We've seen Stone Cold Stunner skate by this announcer's bench a few times now. We're early on in this bout.
Well, she's got to get those out of the way right off the bat.
That's right. You get them all out of your system now.
Get all your penalties out at the start, and then you don't have to worry about them later. We got number 8, Catastrophic Fatality, stepping up to the line, unopposed right now for FoCo Derby Gone Wild. She's going to start this out in a power jam situation as Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber was starting this jam out in the penalty box. She has been released, but she's coming up against that defense of FoCo Derby Gone Wild. They're holding her back.
Catastrophic Fatality using some fancy footwork there, maybe a little too fancy though. She almost skated right out of her boots over there on turn 3, and now comes up against Wicked Slam and Brawliana. Scuttlebutt does pass her after coming out of the penalty box. Catastrophic just couldn't quite make it happen, and now she's got to run into Scuttlebutt. Attic gets another blocker, who then takes off herself and says, I'm on offense again. No big deal.
Scuttlebutt with lead jammer status. She's going to control the pace of this jam. Basically, lead jammer means that she can call off this jam at any time she feels convenient. Very strategic position for the jammer. weaving in and out, blazing through, picking up some points. Looks like 4 points for Port Scandalous roller derby. Then she's going to call it off. Hit it and quit it.
Pack lightening up quite a bit here. There's a lot of wide open space. We're going to see what these jammers can make of it. Misery business. Looking down that line right now. She's going up against Mary Magdalene Anya.
Pack advantage to FoCo Micro Bruisers. Mary Magdalene Anya still trying to get through that wall. As Misery business gets knocked to the inside, has to cycle back. Stone Cold Stunner comes out of the blue, hits her in the blue, knocks her outside on turn 2. She's going to have to cycle back around, come back up against that defense once again.
Fancy footwork there. Calling it off, though, to prevent any damage from being done. Didn't look like any score, though, on that one.
No point change on that jam.
As it is now, Port Scandalous, 70 points to FoCo's 42. Got just under 16 minutes left to go in the first period.
I'd like to bring some attention to PivotStar, pivotstar.com. PivotStar now makes uniforms, comfortable athletic shirts that don't snag on Velcro. Try one on today at the PivotStar booth and get entered to win $50 to spend at pivotstar.com. PivotStar, alternative athletic apparel.
And right now, Double Destruction is looking to get by that pivot, but instead it's going to be Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber who ends up with the point. And she's going to be your lead jammer skating away.
Looks like a big pile up on turn 2. Brawley Anna and number 5'11" Sugar Smacks getting taken down there. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber coming up against that 4 wall down here on turn 4. Looking for a line to break through to put some points on the board. Instead, I believe she's going to call it out. Oh.
And there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she called it off, but there was a cut track penalty.
Oh, there was.
Assessed to Princess of Wales.
In either case, a penalty was called. There are things happening, and we may or may not be able to.
Bad things, stuff, stuff on the floor.
We're just gonna string together a random group of words and hope that in the end it makes sense to everybody. Catastrophic Fatality, trying to make some kind of sense of the front of this pack right now. Looking to bust through, but who other could it be than Mary Magdalene Anya at the front there as she skates away now?
Breaking through quick. Looks like number 45, Amberetta Pistols, hold back. Catastrophic Fatality, last line of defense on that one, but her team's going to come up, throw a little defense in there and see if they can't make a window of opportunity for her to get through and put some points on the board. In the meantime, Mary Magdalene Anya is going to blaze through to pick up 5 more points. That's a grand slam for Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
Chocolate Milkshake trying to crash inside there, but Wicked Slam is unfazed. However, she does let Catastrophic get right by her on the outside, and she's going to begin her scoring pass now.
Mary Magdalene Anya blazing through, picking up 4 more points and calling off that jam. That looks like about a 9-point jam for Miss Anya.
Definitely an uphill battle here, but this score may be misleading. 40 points when you're multiplying by 5 at a time per pass can get chewed up fairly quickly. And that's exactly what Pootie Tang's looking to do right here. She steps up to the line against Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber.
Ninja! Number 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber.
You are going to get us in trouble by the end of this bout, I can tell right now. But that's okay.
It's going to happen.
Pootie Tang just getting hammered at the front of that pack. Big, strong wall that Port Scandalous has been giving us all weekend long. And she's recycled to the back of the pack. She's going to have to try it all over again. Scuttlebutt, one more blocker to beat, and she does, but doesn't quite do it legally, it looks like. That's a cut in the track for Scuttlebutt, which leaves the door wide open now for Pootie Tang and company to try and get some points on the board.
That's right, Pootie Tang getting knocked to the inside by number 18, Wicked Slam. She's going to have to cycle back behind that Port Scandalous defense. Jessica trying to throw her into the inside again. She's going to pick up a cut track penalty, which means she's going to the penalty box. Penalty box, when you got 2 jammers in there, it's like the Thunderdome. 2 skaters enter, 1 skater leaves. As soon as that second skater sits down, the first skater is then released, but the second skater only has to stay seated for as long as the first skater did. So this gives Scuttlebutt a power jam for a short period of time. She can rack some points up on the board.
2 jammers enter, 3 jammers leave. Or wait, somebody check my math on that. One of you NSOs maybe with the calculators. Pootie Tang sprung early for good behavior. Now skates away. Not your lead jammer, of course. Scuttlebutt following close behind her with 4 points. And here we see again Scuttlebutt acting as an extra blocker there. Knocking Pootie Tang and recycling her way back. Unwinding the derby track, as it were.
That's right. Scuttlebutt knocks her to the inside, cycles way back, giving PSRD an opportunity to eat the baby, as they call it, suck up that jammer into the pack. Wicked slam last line of defense. She's going to have to let her go through.
That jam wore me out, man. Woo. Tell you what, and I'm not even the one with those strange things on my feet with wheels on them and whatnot.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's why I watch and talk.
I don't do either of those things very well, but I try. And gosh darn it, that's what it's all about. Catastrophic fatality on the jam line now for the girls in blue.
Give a quick shout out to the Smack Shack, smackshack.net. Smack Shack is Selma's full roller derby store located on Mildred. Call the store today at 253-565-0211 or visit them on the smackshack.net.
Catastrophic fatality up front there against Stone Cold Stunner. And she just couldn't quite make it through legally. That's going to send her to the penalty box. And we've got a power jam for Mary Magdalene Anya. Big shoulder check up front, though, by Roxer Soxoff. Going to send her to the back of the pack.
Mary Magdalene Anya going up against this four-wall, but she's going to get a cut track penalty. Once again, she's going to sit down and release the other jammer for a quick little power jam.
Catastrophic is going to have to earn back all of this flat track. Port Scandalous making her go way back on the straightaway there. A little bit of a pileup is going to leave a door open there, and she takes it. Catastrophic skates on through on her scoring pass. Mary Magdalene Anya, for time served, is now back in the pack and scoring 4 points.
In the meantime, looks like Bustitude's going to pick up, I believe it might be her first penalty of this bout. Mary Magdalene Anya going up against that four-wall of the FoCo Derby gone wild.
Referees falling everywhere. Total anarchy on the flat track.
She's
4 points. No thumb there. Only 4 points for Mary Magdalene Anya. Skating in the wide open. Another pile up there. And skaters just tumbling over the end of turn 2 there. And it looks like something happened now to send Catastrophic a cut in the track call. And the hits just keep coming for FoCo here. Trying to do something about these penalties, and while at the same time trying to stop the onslaught of points right here from being thrown up onto the scoreboard. 3 more points at the end of that jam for Port Scandalous.
That was an 11-point jam for Intent City Rollers. 3 points gained by the FoCo Micro Bruisers. Stepping up to the line, we got 222. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber. She's going to start this one out in a power jam situation. However, pack advantage is going to go to the Micro Bruisers. So Scuttle's going to really be working for every point she can get out there. All right, the whistle's blown to the action start. She's going up against that four-wall. 2-wall. Looks like fourth. Misery Business. One of the last lines of defense up there, trying to hold her back. She goes to the inside. Scuttle goes to the out, picks up that lead jammer status. Initial pass is out of the way. Now she's going to try and put some points up on the board for Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
Scuttlebutt making contact with the pack yet again. FoCo was waiting for it, but look at Wicked Slam there. Smashing to the outside and open up a hole. A couple more blockers to get. FoCo's doing a good job revolving their blockers and trying to keep that bridge open. Pack is called though. And Booker says, yeah, that's good for 5 more points.
Mary popping caps and Misery Business trying to hold her back, but they got to let her go. Coming up on that wall again. She's looking for a line on the inside or the outside. She doesn't care as long as she can get those points up on the board, but it looks like Mary popping caps is going to try and hold her back. Breaking through for 5 more for Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
Some craziness going on there. That was one of the hardest fought panty passes I've ever seen. Misery now skating away as your jammer trying to make it happen there.
Scuttled, but Jibber Jabber picked up 5 points, poised and ready to go. She's going to call off that jam before Misery gets any points up on the board on that. That was a 15-point jam by Miss Jibber Jabber for the Intense City Rollers.
Folks, have you checked out the Fast Girl Skates booth yet? On the opposite corner from us on track 2. Get over there, get yourself some derby swag. They got some amazing skate gear. And if you feel so inclined, ask them about taking care of your gear, maintenance, and all that kind of stuff. They have all the knowledge you need over there at Fast Girl Skates.
Right now, we've got Mary Magdalene Anya once again, and number 125, Roxy Osaksoff, stepping up to that jammer line. Both of them fighting their way through this pack of destruction, trying to get lead jammer status. Mary Magdalene Anya, first one through, going to pick that up. She's going to fly around on her initial pass. Now she's looking to score some points.
Roxy Osaksoff proving herself as a one-on-one blocker now on the opposing end of things, proving that she can smash her way through a pack.
Mary Magdalene Anya get a big hit down on turn 1. She's going to call off that jam before Roxy your socks off comes up to the pack and puts any points on the board.
Misery Business back on that jam line. Last time she jammed, she wasn't the jammer. How'd that work? She was the pivot. Now she's going to do it right from the get-go. She's going to be going up against Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber.
Slight pack advantage going to FoCo Micro Bruisers. We got Wicked Slam spending a little time in the penalty box. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber finding a line on the outside, picks up lead jammer status.
Look at that, though. Boy, both these jammers burning up the flat track. Some speed skating going on, and the pack itself taking off now, skating away from the jammers as well. No points scored. Not surprising, though. The speed of that pack was intense.
All right, we got number 317 once again. Mary Magdalene Anya going up against 98 pounds of steel. Once again, that pack advantage, slight pack advantage going to the FoCo Micro Bruisers as Wicked Slam is still finishing up her penalty in the penalty box at the start of this jam. Mary Magdalene Anya going right up against that defense of the Micro Bruisers, trying to find a line, weak spot to get through. Nothing too weak about that defense. Looks like 98 pounds of steel. Oh no, Mary Magdalene Anya finds a line on the inside to pick up that lead jammer status.
We had a multiplayer block, actually, on the jammer. Boy, you don't see that one too often. That's going to send her to the penalty box, set up a power jam. Port Scandalous as Mary Magdalene Anya gets by, rocks your socks off, and scores, I believe that's 4 points for the girls in black. Yes, 4 points thus far.
As you can see, that penalty box can cause some serious point deficits to happen.
I lied, by the way. That was 5 points. There you go. Okay.
We definitely don't want to see jammers in that penalty box, because what happens then is a power jam situation, and you do not want to give a power jam to Mary Magdalene Anya. She's going to make the most out of it every single time. But the FoCo Micro Bruisers defense is doing a great job of holding her back right now, knocking her to the outside. She's got to cycle way back around turn 1 and go up against that 4-wall once again.
Wicked Slam getting in there, trying to smash everybody back to the outside again. But we got Rocks Your Socks Off, proving to be a thorn in the side of Mary Magdalene Anya. She is all over up in her grill.
Wicked Slam coming in for a big hit, I believe, on Vitamin D, sending Mary Magdalene Anya around the track for 5 more points.
Mary decides to go ahead and just call that one off. She liked those 10 points right where they were. Don't forget, folks, just to our left of the announcer's booth here, we've got Washington Health Plan Finder. If you need some health insurance, they can help you find it. Trust me, there's some good people over there. They're giving away some posters. I think they may have had a raffle or something like that. Check them out, Washington Health Plan Finder or WaHealthPlanFinder.com.
Whistle's blown and the action starts. We've got Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber, Missouri Business, looking to find lead jammer status. The foot race is on. Scuttlebutt throwing a big blow. So it looks like number 8008, Princess of Wales, to break through to pick up lead jammer status, but she's not far behind. Fourth, Misery Business breaks through the pack pretty quick.
Look at this pack skate away here. Amazing. A Scuttlebutt comes in, calls it off, waiting for that fourth whistle. That's 2 points for Port Scandalous. Misery couldn't quite get there by the end of that jam.
Just under 1.5 minutes left in the first half of this bout. We're looking at 129 to 45. Port Scandalous Roller Derby in the lead on that one. We're fielding number 317, Mary Magdalene Anya against Ninja Pootie Tang for FoCo Micro Bruisers. Pack advantage going to the FoCo Micro Bruisers. We have 2 blockers for Port Scandalous in the penalty box at the start of this jam. So
not just 2 blockers, but Brawley-Ann and Wicked Slam. We're going to see if they feel that on the flat track right now, and it looks like they may be as Pootie Tang skates through Port Scandalous defense.
Number 106, Jessica, going to be assessed for another penalty, 2, leaving 1 blocker. Number 45, Amberetta Pistol out there to hold back Pootie Tang, who's blazing through to pick up 4 more points for FoCo Micro Bruisers.
There you go, 3 points for Mary Magdalene Anya. Not about to end that jam without getting a couple points at least for her team. Looks like we got something going on the track here. FoCo coach trying to figure out what's happening, and that is the end of the first half, actually. So we are going to go into a halftime here. Be back in about 10 minutes. I believe, yes? Okay, good. 10 minutes on the clock. We'll see you guys back here in 10.
All right, we got about another minute and a half before the second half starts. Before we get started, I'd like to run down these teams one more time. For skating for PSRD, we've got number 106, Jessica, number 13, Brawley Anna, number 18, Wicked Slam, number 1920, Scorned Rose, number 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber, number 316, Stone Cold Stunner, 317, Mary Magdalene Anya, number 4, Misdirection, 45, Amberetta Pistol, 532, Dominatrix, 805, Bustitude, and number 816, Lethal Enforcer.
FoCo Micro Bruisers are 007 Vitamin D, number 8, Catastrophic Fatality, 13, Chocolate Milkshake, 45, Mary Poppin' Caps, 50, the original Skankster, 98 pounds of steel, 125, Rocks Your Socks Off, 187, Double Destruction, 511, Sugar Smacks, 8008, Princess of Wales, 4th, Misery Business, Ninja, Pootie Tang, I Am Sexy, Susie Muffin Crusher, and not 8, You Be Nice.
I'm glad you clarified that was Susie Muffin Crusher. I thought you were just getting a little egotistical.
Sometimes I just want you guys to know, okay?
I just feel pretty right now.
Yeah. I didn't just throw this together, 2 minutes ago. It was at least a couple hours ago that I threw this together.
This is how I woke up, I swear. I went to sleep wearing a bow tie, and I got up, and it looked like this. It was weird.
That is exquisite, man.
That stuff does happen.
That's a party.
Yeah.
That's a party, yeah.
Yeah, I had a party like that once. It was weird.
Go to sleep wearing formal wear, wake up wearing formaler wear. And formaler is a word that I just made up.
All right, first jam of this second half. Stepping up to the line, once again, we've got Misery Business for FoCo Micro Bruisers, number 317. Well, the sign says Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber, but it's Mary Magdalene Anya for Port Scandalous Roller Derby. Looks like Misery Business is going to break through that defense wicked slam to pick up lead jammer status. Moving quick on her feet.
Boy, look at this again. Right back at him here with a fast pack. Both these jammers just skating away now, trying to catch up in the wide open field there. Misery with a big shoulder check by Wicked Slam. Knocked right off her feet and culls it off, but not before scoring 3 points.
Big hit by Wicked Slam down there on turn 2. That's impressive kind of defense we got going on out here today. I think these women are watching a little too much speed skating during the Olympics, because this is one of the fastest bouts I've seen in a long time.
Pootie Tang on the jam line going up against Scuttlebutt.
Whistles blown. Blockers lining up on the pivot line, giving those jammers a little room to pick up some speed. Ninja having a hard time getting by that defense. Looks like last line of defense is going to be Wicked Slam. She's going to try and knock her to the inside, make her cycle back, giving Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber an opportunity to see if she can't find a line to pick up that lead jammer status, but she's getting held up by 98 pounds of steel. And Princess of Wales, she's going to break through, pick up that lead jammer status. Lead jammer once again, only skater that's able to call off that jam, give him an excellent strategic position.
Pootie Tang, meanwhile, still trying to make it out there. They're just recycling blockers over and over again, right up to the front of that pack, as she is still struggling to get by that last line defense over and over again. Scuttlebutt now entering the pack again, looking to score some of those points. Getting a little bit piled up there on turn number 4, however. And it's up to Pootie Tang now to break through as the pack is split up. Wicked Slam doesn't mind though. Still pushes Pootie Tang out of bounds and recycles her all the way to the back of the pack.
Now Pootie Tang's got to get through that defense. Jessica, number 106 and 18 Wicked Slam, but Scuttlebutt's going to call off that jam after picking up 5 points.
Hard-fought derby right here. Definitely some hard-fought derby.
Jam number 2 was intense. I'm sweating just watching it.
Man, I didn't realize that's only the second jam.
Jeez, these girls are working so hard right now.
We are in the trenches, man. That's it. Catastrophic Fatality is on the jam line. She's going up against Mary Magdalene Anya.
All of them lining up on that jammer line. Not really giving those jammers much room to work, but they're pushing their way through that defense. At a foot race, trying to fight out who's going to get lead jammer status. Looks can be deceiving. Number 187 right now doing a great double D destruction last line of defense, doing a great job of trying to hold Mary Magdalene Anya back, but she's going to break through and pick up that lead jammer status.
Up front there, Catastrophic looking to get by that last line defense, and she's coming up cold against Stone Cold Stunner. She does make it through, however. Begins her scoring pass. Rocks her socks off yet again. Blocking, but has to let her go. Magdalene Anya scoring those points. I think that was a 4-point pass at the end there.
Look at our little Brawly Anna sitting over there in the penalty box all by herself. That is a lonely Brawly.
Just don't look her directly in the eyes, though.
Yeah, that's not a look of loneliness. That's anger and rage. All right, number 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber stepping up that line one more time, going up against Misery Business. So cautiously they approach that pack, looking for a nice, easy place to slide on through and pick up lead jammer status, but it doesn't work out. They got to work for it. Misery Business is working a little harder right now. She picks up that lead jammer status quick, jumping the apex and getting her way around that corner.
Misery now trying to get by this amazing defense here. As Wicked Slam skating up behind her, trying to give her a parting shot. She does make it through, though, calls it off with a 4-point pass. And that's what FoCo likes to see. They'd like to see a lot more of it here with about 25 minutes left to go. Folks, will the Revolution be televised? Possibly. But the one thing we do know is that it will be on the flat track. I'm talking about Flat Track Revolution, flattrackrevolution.com. They're working on changing the face of derby apparel by offering cutting-edge designs that skaters, fans, and people who just like cool stuff will all enjoy.
All right, on that line right now, we got number 187, Double D Destruction, skating against number 317, Mary Magdalene Anya. Mary Magdalene Anya trying to get through that pack. She's going to do it, get through that three-wall. FoCo, she's going to pick up that lead jammer status once again. Intent City Rollers doing their best to hold on to that lead jammer. Mary Magdalene getting held back by Chocolate Milkshake. Chocolate Milkshake getting pushed to the inside. Now she's being held up by the three-wall of FoCo Derby Girls.
2 points right at the end there. We're back to 5-on-5, which is always nice to see on the flat track.
Five on five. Usually that equals a little bit slower pack, but a lot of heavy hitting. But today, these ladies are just, I mean, wheels are spinning on the floor. Like I said, they were watching some speed skating, and they want to get their run on.
Better believe that. Looking to get some speed herself is Pootie Tang on the jam line. She's going up against Scuttlebutt. We'll see what these jammers can make of this pack. Just tightening up on both jammers. And we have a pileup on turn one. Looks like Scuttlebutt did break free, and she's looking to get by that last line defense, though. Not involved in that pileup, but involved in this pileup. Down and back up at him.
Scuttlebutt getting held back right now by number 511, Sugar Smacks. Number 8008, Princess of Wales, and 98 pounds of steel. Doing a great job of holding her back defensively, but there is no pack called. They're going to have to let her go through, picking up lead jammer status for Intent City Rollers.
Pootie Tang is just having a heck of a time trying to get by these Port Scandalous blockers right here. They're holding on to that inside line, and they're stringing it out all the way to the other side of the track here. Big hit outside. Pootie Tang is going to be recycled all the way back. Port Scandalous doing a backwards bridge, as it were, to extend their zone of influence. And that's 5 points for Scuttlebutt.
Scuttle barely keeping those skates inside the line. She whizzes by on the outside to pick up 5 points for PSRD.
Pootie Tang breaking through the pack, looking to get some of those points on the board, and she's not going to make it there in time. This jam is over. Still intense derby going on right here. Neither team is stopping even for a moment. As the score stands, though, with about 22 minutes left to go, it's Port Scandalous with 155, FoCo Microbruisers 56.
Step up to the line for this, the sixth jam of the second half. We got number 317, Mary Magdalene Anya, and number 4, Misery Business. Misery Business, fast on her feet, moves to the outside, gets knocked out by Wicked Slam. Mary Magdalene Anya going up against number 125, Rocks Your Socks Off. Now it's Chocolate Milkshake who's going to do what she can to hold her back. She's going to find a line on the inside track to break through, but it's too late because Misery Business picked up lead jammer.
There we go, the pack flying away. Misery Business, though, likes that. It's good for 4 points and calling it off. FoCo trying to tighten things up here now. They're going to send in Double Destruction to get the job done. Going up against Scuttlebutt Jibber Jab. We're seeing an extremely tight rotation here for Port Scandalous in both blockers and jammers.
That is a light track out there. Speaking of blockers, penalty box has been filled with them. We got 2 blockers from both teams. Going to sit out the start of this jam. It's going to make for some fast footwork from these jammers. Number 187, Double Destruction, going to pick up lead jammer status. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber is going to fly through on the inside track, pass her up, forcing her to call off that jam.
Scuttlebutt didn't have enough of it. She's going to just stay on out there. Looks like most of the team is doing that as well for Port Scandalous. In blue, though, we're going to send out Catastrophic Fatality. See what's going to happen now. Rocks her socks off up there at front with a nod behind her. I think she's joined by Princess of Wales. They're both going to see what they can do. It's a 2-on-2 pack right now. And this is what these kind of jammers like to see. They don't want a lot of blockers in their way. They want to get that speed under them, though. So we'll see what happens as Scuttlebutt finds the inside line and is your lead jammer.
Scuttlebutt using that low center of gravity and extreme lateral movement to breeze her way through on the inside track. Looks like number 8, Catastrophic Fatality, is going to be assessed for, was that a back block?
I think that was actually cutting the track.
Going
to send FoCo Jammer right to the sin bin. And open up the power jam here as now the tables have turned. Port Scandalous enjoying a pack advantage. And Scuttlebutt, the lone offensive player on the track right now.
Picking up 5 more points. That's another grand slam for Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber. Looks like that penalty box is starting to get a little bit thin. There's a little bit more defense out there. We've got all 4 blockers for Port Scandalous on the track. And looks like number 50, the original Skankster, is going to be assessed for a multiplayer block. She's going to spend a little time in the penalty box, leaving only 2 defensive skaters on the track for FoCo Micro Bruisers.
Scuttlebutt looking to get by Roxy Socks Off. She's got to let her go, though, because the pack was split up, and Scuttlebutt's good for 5 more points. 20 points so far in this jam.
If you're wondering how she can put 5 points on the board every time she makes around that track, there's only 2 opposing skaters. She also gets a point for every skater that she passes in that penalty box.
They used to award a point for every announcer the jammer passes as well. They stopped doing that, though, as they realized that when you have scores of 4,800 points or so by the end of the period.
It's really just unfair.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see how that's a fair move at all, but whatever.
Just like I've always said, the best defense is to run away and cry in the corner.
Or, fetal position.
That's a good one, too.
Cover your head.
Yeah.
This time I'd like to bring your attention to SureGrip, suregrip.com. SureGrip is the leading manufacturer of high-end and recreational roller skates and roller skate accessories since 1937. Check out SureGrip's line of zombie wheels at suregrip.com today.
Folks, we got all kinds of merch left over still underneath the mezzanine. So the Slaughter County merch booth is selling event merchandise. I'm talking about shot glasses, water bottles. Looks like bandanas, bags, shirts, hoodies, buttons, hair accoutrement, things of that nature. It's a barn burner. Fire sale. Everything must go today, folks. Get your derby swag right now. Show everybody where you've been. The Wild West Showdown 2014.
How does that saying go? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Right here at the Wild West Showdown.
That's right. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
All right, we got 317 Mary Magdalene Anya going against Misery Business once again out here on the flat track. Speed is picking up. Misery Business breaking through that pack to pick up the lead jammer status. Seems like we got about 10 jammers on the track right now. They're all just going fast.
Misery smashing into that pack. Had an opening, but instead became a Port Scandalous sandwich there. Did get 1 point, though, in the deal. My goodness, this is some fast skating out here. This is fast roller derby, man.
They weren't kidding when they named their team Intense. Oh, we got Pootie Tang, number 9, back out on the line. I can't say it enough. I'm going to say it on my way home.
I feel dirtier every time you say it, too. It's weird.
222 Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber on the line for Port Scandalous Roller Derby. But it looks like last line of defense is going to be Mary Magdalene Anya, but Jessica's going to try and send her to the outside, but she's going to stay in, pick up lead jammer status. Tight on her tail, though. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber's making her work for it.
Both these jammers skating away on fire. Scuttlebutt wanted to get that position right up front. She's going to want to control this pace. That's some blocking as an extra blocker. But look at the rest of this pack skate away. Very strung out pack, but still moving insanely fast.
Looks like number 511 for FoCo Micro Bruisers. Sugar Max is going to be assessed for a low block penalty down here on turn 4. She's going to spend a little time in the penalty box. Joining Misdirection, who's already there, just enjoying her time, relaxing. Sometimes you need a break.
This looks like an official review, possibly, or just an official timeout.
Hey, during that official timeout, let's talk about the featured charity today, the Sally Santana Funds for the Homeless. Voice of the homeless in Kitsap County, Sally Santana is known for the community for her faith and values column that ran in the Kitsap Sun every other Saturday, and for the volunteer work she did, primarily in the areas of hunger and homelessness. She spent a good deal of her childhood and youth living in those conditions, and when she was able, she was dedicated to helping her neighbors and wider community. Help us honor this amazing woman and the crusades she fought for. We challenge you to help us slaughter homelessness in Kitsap County. Please check out the booth set up right here in this venue to find out how you can do your part to help these less fortunate.
If you love some local roller derby, don't forget on the 22nd of this month, there's going to be a doubleheader bout at Skateland. You're going to want to check that out. We're going to see some co-ed derby going on, boys and girls on the flat track. We'll also see some Slaughter County roller derby right there. Skateland, March 22nd.
I can tell you that co-ed roller derby is pretty intense stuff too. Intense City Rollers just had their debut bout against a all-men's team, and believe it or not, Intense City Rollers rolled them. They took them down hard. These guys were giants on the track compared to them, but the intensity of their skating and their hit ability, let's say, just brought them to the ground.
Not sure what's going on. I think this might actually be an official review. An official, yeah, I believe that Thurston Gore is telling us it's an official review called by Port Scandalous. And I think that's why we're seeing some action maybe in the penalty box right now. Port Scandalous believed they were deserved more points than they actually got. They thought they were good for 2 points. They were awarded none. The call on the field is upheld, though. The blocker in question that was passed apparently was on her way to the penalty box at that time. So the officials are upholding the non-score on the track.
Once again out there on the line, we've got 317 Mary Magdalene Anya, who just seems to be a staple out there on the track today, and number 4 Misery Business for the FoCo Micro Bruisers. 5 more seconds, we're going to get some action started. Once that whistle blows, we're going to see some fancy footwork out here by both of these fast-footed skaters.
Wicked Slam and Brawliana, they're holding on to that outside line. They're not giving Misery any laughter right now. She tries to get by, but at the front of the pack, Mary Magdalene Anya skates away as the lead jammer. Misery being recycled to the back there to get by Brawliana, but she was directing her team forward to try and smash up that pack a little bit by splitting it up, and she just can't quite keep it in legal play as she skates to the penalty box, joined by Mary Magdalene Anya, both jammers down in the penalty box. Misery made it there first, so she gets to stand up just a moment before Mary Magdalene Anya. And now both groups of blockers are waiting. Their opposing jammer, some fancy footwork there, but misdirection gives her a shoulder check to the outside, making Misery held up just for a moment. As now Mary Magdalene Anya tries to get by Rocks her socks off. She does. And both jammers are free and clear of the pack. However, only one of them is on their scoring pass, and that's 5 points on the board for Port Scandalous.
That was an amazing Grand Slam right there. They were both dancing around each other to get through to pick up those last points. Mary Magdalene Anya, quick on her feet, goes to the outside, stays inside the track, but she gets knocked out by the opposing jammer. Misery Business down on turn 4. She's going to be assessed. Cut track penalty going to be assessed, Mary Magdalene Anya. She's going to spend a little time in the penalty box.
And yet again, both jammers called for the same penalty. This is big news. FoCo was going to want to capitalize on that power jam. Instead, Now Misery's going to have to sit and watch Mary Magdalene Anya as she enters the pack now with a big shot by Chocolate Milkshake.
98 pounds of steel last line of defense on that one. She holds back Mary Magdalene Anya just long enough so she can only put 4 points on the board.
Got about 14 and a half minutes left to go as the score stands now. Port Scandalous Roller Derby 185, FoCo Microbruisers 61.
Stepping up to that line for the Intense City Rollers, Port Scandalous Roller Derby, we have number 222, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber, up against Catastrophic Fatality, FoCo Microbruisers. Scuttlebutt looking for a window of opportunity, but she's getting held back by a pretty intense two-wall down there. No pack is called. She has to get let loose. She's going to pick up lead jammer status.
Catastrophic, meanwhile, trying to make her way through and get on to that scoring pass, but instead running into that now famous front wall we've seen over and over again. Big pileup, though. Wicked Slam actually smashing a few of her own players aside and opening up a hole for Catastrophic, who now skates away. Scuttlebutt, however, already scoring those points. 4 points on the board.
It's funny what you can see when you put a whole bunch of women on a track with wheels on their feet. One gets hit, it's like dominoes. All right, that whistle's blown. That's the end of that jam. 4 points to PSRD on that one.
Folks, if you're here in the venue and not just watching at home, check out the Green Monster booth over on track 2. They would love to hook you up with some awesome stuff. Maybe learn a few neat tips and tricks from over there, or just check out the cool vibe going on there. If you're online, though, it's grnmnstr.com. Green Monster.
007, Vitamin D putting the star on for, I believe, the first time in this bout. Going up against Mary Magdalene Anya. Mary Magdalene Anya trying to get past the defense of 98 pounds of steel, and she does it, picking up lead jammer status. Flying around the track, trying to put some points on the board. But Vitamin D's going up against that defense. Amaretta Pistols looks like she's going to push her to the outside, make her cycle back.
Mary Magdalene Anya and rocks her socks off. We've seen this matchup before at the front of the pack there. If there was slow music playing, we would think they were dancing. Right there, Mary Magdalene Anya with 5 more points on the board.
All right, we've got a penalty to...
That was a penalty. I think maybe some thought that the jam had ended early, but it didn't. It just now ended. That was a penalty called, actually, on Vitamin D, who now had to skate all the way around the flat track, make her way to the penalty box.
This is a dangerous position for the FoCo Microbruisers. The Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber is going to start out this next jam in a power jam situation. Looks like we got some new faces out on the track. It's that 1920 Scorned Rose for the Intense City Rollers stepping up on that defensive line. Pack advantage is going to the ICR as one of FoCo Microbruisers' defensive skaters are in the penalty box at the start of this jam. Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber final line on the inside, picks up lead jammer status. She's flying around the track to put some points on the board.
Scuttlebutt looking for that outside line, getting a big shoulder check there. I think that was Sugar Smacks living up to her name. Not too sweet with that shoulder check, though. 5 points on the board, nonetheless, for Scuttlebutt and crew.
Amaretta Pistols trying to give her a little help. Opens up a window of opportunity for her to jump through on that apex, pick up 5 more points for Intense City Rollers.
Scuttlebutt bouncing around the back of that pack, trying to find that best line wherever she can do it. And a little bit of trouble up front, but they're too split up. They've got to let her go anyway. And 5 more points on the board. That's a 15-point jam for Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber.
Calling off that jam just before the opposing jammer comes out of the penalty box is an excellent strategic move. That gives her, the next jammer, the opportunity to get out quick, pick up lead jammer status before the other jammer can come out and oppose her moves.
There's the whistle. Mary Magdalene Anya getting the jump as FoCo awaits her on the pivot line. Rocks her socks off and chocolate milkshake up front to take care of business defensively for the girls in blue. Mary Magdalene Anya trying to get by, and she does actually. Makes it by, and that's your lead jammer.
Looks like Vitamin D is going to be assessed for a back block penalty after coming out of the penalty box. Looks like she had a little back blocking against Lethal Enforcer, new to the track for the first time this evening.
In legal play, Mary Magdalene Anya trying to break through that last line defense. Looks like she does. She gets 5 points.
That is another grand slam for PSRD.
Rocks your socks off once again, being joined now by Princess of Wales. Almost got the hit on, but instead they've got to let her go, and Mary Magdalene Anya gets another big grand slam as Sports Scandalous continues to run away with this score.
Looks like PSRD is going to help out their jammer a little bit, pushing that defensive wall of the FoCo micro bruisers out of the way so she can try to breeze through, but they regroup quick, push her to the inside. She's going to have to cycle back before she calls off that jam.
Scuttlebutt jibber jabber in this power jam for Port Scandalous.
A lot of foot shifting moving around on that defense line. Those blockers are getting in a position to do some damage out there.
It's just, yeah, it looks terrifying when they do that. Don't hit me.
Vicious animals ready to pounce. Scuttlebutt jibber jabber final line on the outside, picks up that lead jammer status. 007 Vitamin D trying to fight her way through that defense. The Port Scandalous roller derby, big fall going down on turn number 2. Looks like Dominatrix trying to be the last line of defense on that. Scuttlebutt jibber jabber weaving around to the outside of the pack, picks up 5 points. That's 5 in the sky for a grand slam. Port Scandalous roller derby.
And there you go. They looked like what happened there was Vitamin D thought that Amberetta Pistol was actually the blocker she had to come in behind, but that was not the case. And she ended up getting called for another cut in the track call. And that's going to send her to the penalty box. So we maintain our power jam trifecta here for Port Scandalous.
That's right, third in a row. That's another 5 points on the board for PSRD. So far, it's a 15-point jam.
Scuttlebutt in and out of the pack, just about untouched, I think. And that was 5 points on the board.
Looks like, I believe that was a back block penalty being assessed to 570 or 511 Sugar Smacks against Dominatrix from Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
Either way, Scuttlebutt skating around now. We are at a 30-point jam. And she decides to call it off with moments left in the jam. 3 more points, though, right at the end there. A 33-point jam for Scuttlebutt jibber jabber. About 6.5 minutes left to go in this bout.
All right, we got a little change up here. Looks like we're going to send out Stone Cold Stunner, putting the star on her helmet for the the Port Scandalous Roller Derby. And at the start of this jam, it's going to be a power jam situation as number 007 Vitamin D is going to start this one out in the penalty box.
Stone Cold Stunner gets by, rocks your socks off, and she is now your lead jammer, skating away. But Vitamin D actually freed from the penalty box, making contact with the pack. And there's all kinds of wackiness going on now.
Speed has increased. PSRD defense doing a great job of holding her back.
And that's 98 pounds of steel. That was a successful, well, almost a successful panty pass for FoCo. That's actually going to be 98 pounds of steel in the penalty box now with a back block call.
Back block assessed, leaving a power jam for Stone Cold Stunner, number 316, for Port Scandalous Roller Derby.
Yep, that happened. 2 jammers in the penalty box. Waiting to sit there, chewing up a little bit of time. And that's going to send 98 pounds of steel back behind Brawliana as soon as she's freed. She does break free, though. Look at that, right through that pack. That was some fancy footwork there by 98 pounds of steel as she skates away.
Definitely was. Weaving through the defense of Brawliana. Wicked slam. And busted, too. That was impressive.
Oh, my goodness. And once again, avoiding the Port Scandalous sandwich. Skating by, and that's a big grand slam for FoCo. Trying to capitalize on some of this momentum here in the closing minutes of this bout.
5 more points on the board for PSRD. But 98 pounds of steel blazing through that pack once again, putting 4 more on the board for FoCo. 98 pounds of steel coming out with a vengeance.
Double destruction on the jam line for the girls in blue. She'll be going up against Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber.
Pack advantage heavy on the FoCo Microbruiser side as we have 317 Mary Magdalene Anya in the penalty box, joined by number 13 Brawliana. Guess it was time for a break.
Not a bad time for it, actually. Double destruction, just holding on to that outside line, and she is your lead jammer, followed very closely by Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber.
Scuttlebutt weaving her way in front of the opposing jammer, forcing her to call off the jam before she puts any points up on the board.
Both teams still got plenty of timeouts here as we're under the 3-minute mark. Port Scandalous with a commanding lead. Sending out Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber again.
I don't think she got enough skating in the last jam, is what
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
She likes to get her wheel on, you know. She's going to go up against number 4, Misery Business. Once again, Scuttlebutt coming up that back wall. Misery Business trying to find a line on the outside, looking for a window of opportunity. His pack advantage to FoCo Microbruisers, but she's going to get hit to the outside by Amaretta Pistols. Amaretta Pistols getting knocked down by Misery Business. Misery Business going to pick up that lead jammer status. In the meantime, Scuttlebutt Jibber Jabber gets knocked to the inside, picks up a cut track penalty. She's going to spend a little time in the penalty box, leaving Misery Business out there on her lonesome for power jam.
There you go. Rocks her socks off there with some really quick footwork there, actually, getting behind Scuttlebutt as she tried to come back into legal play. That was an amazing way to pick up that cut in the track. But right now, in the midst of a power jam, it's going to be Misery Business. Big shoulder check there to send her down and then back up again. Looks like she's getting some help by Princess of Wales.
Almost looks like a fist fight down there on turn 1.
Boy, howdy.
Amaretta Pistols throwing those shoulders around. Knocking down Misery Business, trying to hold her back, joined by 317 Mary Magdalene Anya. Misery Business has had enough. She knocks her down and picks up 5 points for the FoCo Microbruisers.
What a tough jammer here we're seeing from FoCo right at the end, too. Misery Business just earning every single inch of flat track that she is covering right now, and not afraid to get physical back with these blockers either. Laying just as many shoulder checks in as there are shoulder checks on her. And we saw that right in front of us.
That's right.
Number 317 getting sent to the old sin bin there. Mary Magdalene Anya going to think about what she's done.
That's a little time to reflect. A little time to reflect on your
What
actions.
decisions led you to this point in your life?
They thought about having a corner. You could go put your nose in the corner, but
Bad news for FoCo in the closing moments now. Misery Business is being sent to the box. Looks like she got caught cutting the track. And there's the end. We've got a timeout. A timeout, Port Scandalous. A team timeout by Port Scandalous. I'm not kidding. It's really a team timeout. We may have to put some more time back on the clock, so if you're paying attention, watch that. In either case, though, we are going to get at least one more jam here. We thought the clock was actually going to run down on us, but apparently that is not the case.
If you're in the house here today, make sure you stop by the Fingers Duke booth, fingersduke.com. Fingers Duke is more than your average screen printing company. They do some amazing things. I've seen more detail in Fingers Duke screen printing than I have in simple line drawings. It's pretty impressive. Go to fingersduke.com and see what they have to offer, or just visit them in the booth back in the corner over here.
Don't forget, folks, there is an after party tonight. That after party will be amazing. I guarantee it. McLeod's is where it is. Don't worry if you're staying at the Baymont Inn. I know historically we've had that after party at the Baymont. I'm not going to do that this year. But you won't be stranded there away from the after party. There's going to be a party bus that will shuttle you back and forth from the hotel to McLeod's and back again. That'll be running all night long. Don't worry about that. As soon as McLeod's closes, that'll probably be the last run, though. They'll take you back to the hotel, and then it's up to you.
Rumor has it they'll be dousing alcohol and one of my favorites, karaoke. That's right.
Yes.
Like I get enough of that
The
microphone.
magical art of karaoke.
Karaoke. All right, we got number 317, Donna the Star for Port Scandalous Roller Derby. She's going to be skating unopposed as the FoCo jammer. Misery Business is going to spend the start of this jam in the penalty box. We're getting off to the outside on turn one. Stone Cold Stunner is going to have to cycle back behind the two blockers that FoCo has fielded before she can pick up her 5 points.
And it's all about the defense now. Only two skaters there trying to make it happen. Of course, there's only three for Port Scandalous. As Wicked Slam now gets called to the penalty box.
Stone Cold Stunner blazes through almost unopposed to pick up 5 points right there. 3-on-2 action. Number 1, 2, 5. Last line of defense. Rocks your socks off. Tries to hold her back, but she breaks through to pick up 5 more for PSRD.
And we're seeing now, basically, we're skating on borrowed time here, brought to us by a timeout by Port Scandalous with moments left to go in the period. Now, we had another jam going here. Rocks your socks off, the last blocker to beat now by Stone Cold Stunner. And Stone Cold Stunner does make her way on by. Another grand slam for the girls in black.
38 seconds left in this bout. 5 more points on the board for PSRD. They've broken the 300 mark. And she's going to call off that jam unofficially. The unofficial final score right now is sitting at 300-89 PSRD.
There we have it. Yeah, just broke into the 300-point mark. I guess that's what they were trying to do with that timeout, I'm assuming, at the end of that bout. Nonetheless, I think it's pretty safe to say that Port Scandalous is going to come away with the win even after the official review and making sure everything's on the up and up. Ladies and gentlemen, get down on the flat track, give some derby love to Port Scandalous Roller Derby right now.
That's right. This was some intense skating out here today. These women really put it out on the track. I believe this is their last bout for the evening.
Oh, is it? It might be.
Both teams.
Port Scandalous Roller Derby, folks. And the girls in blue, the FoCo Micro Bruisers.
Let's give it up for both of these teams out here, ladies and gentlemen.
Still waiting for that that official final score. Thank you, everybody, for coming out, though. The Wild West Showdown. We're in the last day of the Wild West Showdown right now. And we love seeing all this derby coming on here in Kitsap County. for 3 full days every year. This is the 5th year we've done this, and we love it more and more every single time. Thanks to all of these great leagues for making it out here. And thanks to you, Norwegian Persuasion, for making it to the announcer's booth with me.
I'd like to thank you, Double Out Buck, for having me up here. You have a wonderful microphone, might I add. All right, stick around. After this, we've got Boulder County Bombers versus the Dockyard Derby Dames right here on track 1 for more intense derby action.
There's the final score. It is official. Put this one in the history books. Sports Scandalous Roller Derby 300, FoCo Micro Bruisers 89. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for some more derby.